Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun in my personal opinion. GHD sit-ups, rope climbs, pistols, and high volume at that. You know, hopefully you're feeling well prepared to take on that volume of GHD sit-ups. One thing that pops out in my mind is, you know, the first couple rounds of GHD sit-ups being really deliberate about your pace, right? If this is a movement you've been training, and hopefully you have been training it quite a bit, hopefully you've kind of messed with your pacing and what that does to your body over the course of 180 GHD sit-ups. So what I mean by that is like finding a good rhythm for your breath and keeping your eyesight in a place that's going to keep you from getting like dizzy or feeling like, I know a lot of athletes experience like head rush with GHD sit-ups. So kind of keeping that chin tucked as you lean back, finding a nice, steady, smooth rhythm. And then the other thing that pops up is rope climbs. And while there's not like a terrible number of them, it's really easy to rest and stare at the rope for too long. So being mindful of how long you're standing on the ground, hanging out, waiting to do your next stretch on the rope climbs, because there could be a lot of time lost there. And then, yeah, we have just as many pistols. We have GHD sit-ups, so I think 180 total. Knowing yourself here is going to be really important in how you attack this and what pace you come out with on your single leg squats. You know, obviously, if you have the capacity to go quickly, like smooth, fast reps, focusing on staying balanced. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think it's going to be pretty like physically punishing by the end of it. So definitely, let's see, this is test number 2. So yeah, I would say, and we'll probably get into the order of what we're thinking about doing all these workouts in. But this is one that I think will be a lot more physically draining than test number 1 for sure.
I agree. And like she alluded to, we're going to try and talk about how we can attack the flow of these a little better for you guys. But this is probably going to be the one that's going to leave us, you know, the most sore and drained after. But, you know, we have been peppering this stuff in for you guys. So you're prepared. DC, what do you think about this one?
Last week or the week before that, CrossFit.com did a very similar workout. It was just rope climbs and GHD sit-ups a few weeks ago. And Christian, if you're listening, that was a very astute observation. And like they normally do, CrossFit.com usually leads into the open workouts. So yeah, I think it's putting rope climbs with GHD sit-ups is a huge fatigue on the abdominal muscles and the hip flexors. So, you know, hopefully you guys have been doing some combinations of that. I have done quite a bit with my athletes in the last couple of weeks. So you sort of know what that feels like, how your abs are going to feel after you've done that many GHD sit-ups and straight into the rope climbs. I guess the good thing about it is grip strength. There's no other movements that restrict your grip in this workout except the rope climbs. So if you know yourself on the rope, it's going to be pretty manageable for you. You know how fast you need to go, and I think it's definitely a one and done. I mean, you're going to have some fatigue from the GHD sit-ups big time. You're not going to want to do that one again. What do you reckon, Nick?
Yeah, I agree. 180 GHD sit-ups for anybody is a lot. Depending on who you are, how you're built, a whole bunch of other factors, it's going to affect you a little bit differently than the person next to you. That being said, if you like, my gut feeling is this is definitely, chipper style, grinder style workout, right? 20-minute time cap kind of says it. For some people, finishing this in 20 minutes might be challenging, only because of the muscle fatigue factor, right? So this becomes a very different workout than like a heavy aerobic threshold breather. Right, this one is going to smack you in the face just from like muscle fatigue. Like you mentioned, DC, hip flexors, abdominals, like those types of things are going to catch up. So so my gut says, if you look at this and you're like, I don't know, that just seems like a lot. My training hasn't mimicked this, which is okay. There's a lot of folks training that hasn't mimicked this. 180 GHD is a lot. And so if you look at this and you're just unsure of how to pace it and not confident or familiar with maybe the volume of how this is going to affect you, I would be very deliberate and start out slow until probably the 40 round. And then you'll know more, right? By the time you get to 40, you're more than halfway done with the reps. And so the last thing we want to do is come out too hot and to where muscularly, physically, we're having to slow down. And then the last half of this workout, even though it's less volume, takes us either just as long or longer than the first half. And so we want to avoid that trap for sure. GHD, sit-ups, and even rope climbs will catch up real quick. Single leg squats, pistols, I'm not too worried about relative to, just grind those out. It's a little bit more, I would call it like global muscle fatigue, muscle endurance. And so, yeah, that's kind of that's how I would approach this, very cautiously if you're not confident on an approach.